Well, greetings. Welcome to Stephen G Studios. I thought finally I would begin my YouTube channel. I've been told by family and friends I need to do it. I don't feel like I have much to say, but here we go. And of course, doing research, they say that most people are interested in more realistic, less produced videos where you get to see the mistakes and the learning curve. Well, this is the video for you if you like to see mistakes. I make a lot of them. And I thought today was a perfect example. I had a photo shoot in Richmond, just north of Petersburg, where I'm located. And it was of a large group of a class in a large facility. So I brought strobes, C-stand, other stands, power cables, all the camera equipment. And I try to go through in my mind the list of items that I need, because too often I've forgotten some key component. Worst of all are the times where I forget my remote trigger for the strobes. Disaster. I've gotten better at it though by going through my memory of trying to remember what do I need and what do I have. But of course this morning I forgot a key component. A small little thing, but so very useful. It's the mounting bracket for my tripod. This goes on the camera and this latches to the tripod. So I can leave the camera in the same position, level, and do remote trigger, talk to the group, take the photos. Nope, not today. So I had to hold the camera on the tripod to make sure it stayed level and close to the same position. Because with large groups, I take many pictures, or 3 or 4, because you're gonna have somebody with their eyes closed, they're not gonna be smiling. And so if I need to, I can composite another face from another photo and you've got a beautiful photo. The funny thing was, they forgot they needed a shot without their instructors, so I had to come back to shoot again. I already did this once. And the funny request was they wanted less of a smile. So there I was going back, finding where some folks didn't show their teeth. Some folks don't like to see themselves with a big teethy smile. I think it looks good, but we all feel a certain way about our looks. But anyway, I don't know the solution to not forgetting these things. I got 2 of these, I need more. I try to keep one in the bag, but I used a different bag to cut down on the bulk of what I was bringing. But I always forget something. Do you do that? No matter what you do, your tools, but if you're a photographer, what's the item that you often forget? This is the top one for me. I've had gobs of trouble with my remote trigger. I had to buy a new one. They all seem to stop working or functioning properly. So I believe this is like number 3. But I lost the cable that goes to the camera. So I had to order another one. Of course, then I find the one I'm missing in the driveway, of course, run over, so it's no good. And then cleaning up the studio, I find another one. So anyway, I can always use extra. But that's kind of the goofy stuff that happens to me as a photographer, or professional photographer. It's snowing pretty good outside, so I'm going to take you with me out and around Old Town for as long as I can stand it, because I'm not really dressed to be out in the snow. I noticed the other day when I was out with my medium format Bronica film camera, just getting back into the film, there's a bank with a drive-through with the lights that they're still going, the fluorescent lights. I really want to shoot this when it gets darker, but I thought maybe in the snow it might look kind of interesting. Yeah, and the other thing that's easy to forget, battery, charge, how's the charge? How many shots do I have on my card? And settings. So here I have the white balance set for flash, and I'm going to go to auto. But other than that, I think all the other settings are cool. I do need to put another CF card in here, backup card. That's another struggle that I have. going from shoot to shoot to shoot to shoot and not taking the files off the card. So then Lightroom has to search through thousands of photos. Yeah, so I probably got too many on here. But anyway, over 1,000 shots. Another thing, I love this camera. It's a Mark III. I'm gonna definitely get more of this model, or the 4, but I love this camera. I like seeing through the lens. Old school, I like looking through the viewfinder. Don't like looking at a little screen. But you don't need the latest and the greatest. In fact, most professional photographers don't have the latest and greatest. And I've invested in some nice lenses, and I'm not interested in investing in a whole nother line of lenses. So I'm sticking with the camera. So for the photo that I want to get, and of course just more like landscape shots in the snow, I'll use my wide angle 25mm lens. My favorite, of course, is the 50. I love the 50, but I think in this situation, unless I want to get some detailed shots of what it's like in the snow out here, the 25 is the way to go for these type of shots. At least that's what I'm thinking for today. I will say there are some projects that I want to do where I would like a higher resolution. I cannot afford, there's no budget for a medium format digital camera, which of course would include purchasing more lenses. But I do have medium format film cameras. So I thought, well, here's what I have. So I'll take the photos with the medium format film camera, scan the film in or the negatives, and there's my high resolution image. So that's another item I want to talk about and follow in this YouTube video. And that's part of what this will be for, to force me to do the projects that I have. I've got a long list of them, but when you do what you love for a living, you start to do more of the work and not the fun stuff. And so I do take stock of the fact that it's been too long since I've done some personal photography. And that's what this will be today, just to go out in the snow. I don't think I'm gonna get very far in the shoes that I'm wearing in the snow, because it's coming down pretty good. Of course, this is not gonna expose for that. But anyway, here we go. Well, that didn't go as planned. I am not ready for shooting in the snow. And I should have planned for it. But you're starting to get the idea of how I operate. I did that, by the way. It's another project I need to talk about. We'll do that soon. Woo. Yeah, this is dangerous. Yikes. Whew. What's the lesson there? We get a better shot. Be more prepared. I don't know why I didn't think after my job today I should have brought some appropriate clothing so I could go out and take photos while I'm in Old Town. Because if we get the 10 to 12 inches they're talking about, I'm not coming back here tomorrow, most likely. So I won't get the shots, but the snow should stick around for a while because I think it's gonna be cold for a while. but yikes. And the weird thing was, so I've got this DJI gimbal, and then I've got the DJI's version of the GoPro, and I turn the GoPro on, and the app decides to switch to the GoPro device and not the phone on the gimbal, which it was connected to begin with. That is strange. The Osmo Action, not the GoPro. So this is my little office space. It's just bizarre, this building. It was a foundry after the Civil War. They moved from across the street. This used to be shops and people lived upstairs. After the Civil War, people kind of moved out of the city. So it was economically depressed, but the buildings much more affordable. So the foundry moves across the street and converts this into their foundry. So they basically open it up. I guess somewhere in the 90s, these were purchased and renovated. Apartments were put upstairs. I hope I'm right about the time frame. And there were some businesses down here that have come and gone. The door here, you can just make out the horse, the logo on there, Appomattox Tavern. I don't remember it at all. Of course, I didn't come down here in the 90s. I grew up in the 80s. We had Walnut Mall and all the strip malls down my way where I lived. That's where we went. We didn't come to downtown or Old Town. It was kind of a dumpy place, to tell you the truth. But anyway, Appomattox Run Tavern. Who knows what that was? Small room here. And then there's this weird space here. It's like a hallway to another hallway where I get to my restrooms that I share with another business that has a space on either side of me. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it, but it is what it is. It's the only place I could get in Old Town. And then of course we come into the studio. So there's the cyclorama there. It's filthy, the floor. I gotta paint it again, but that's typical of a cyclorama that's painted white. Then I have my little customer space. So I've got prints on the wall, TV there, coffee there, and couch for customers to sit on, and then another telephone call. Okay. Like I was saying, I don't know how this is going to work. If I've got anything valuable to say, or maybe you'll just get a kick out of me goofing up as much as I do. But I do some interesting work. I've got a video shoot Friday in Richmond with a client, a real estate agent. So she's working on her marketing. We used to do a lot of photo shoots, but now it's moved to the video side of things. So that's where the other realtors have gone. They're shooting video for their Instagram and their Facebook. So that's what she's got to do to keep up. So we're going to shoot video, short clips that she can use for the next few months. If we can get up there, if the weather's not too bad, we'll be doing that. And so I'm also going to shoot my own commercials there for my real estate photography business, which I'm going to lean into heavily, although the market is pretty dry right now. Not much going on in the real estate market, at least around here. But I'm hoping as the year goes on, get to spring, maybe it'll pick up. But it's good work. I like the work. I enjoy architecture. So I'm going to lean heavily in that. Portraiture is a tough sell. A lot of amateurs out there that don't charge much and give way too many photos. And it's funny how people think the amateur work is good, and it's not. But the sad thing to say is people look at price, not quality these days. Or they just use their phones, which take great photos. AI is digging into photography, take some bad shots of yourself and then let it generate a fake nice photo of you. So there's a lot against that form of photography. I like having the studio because I feel like I'm holding on to the past where we had photographers who had studios who were all over the country. It's a nice heritage that I hate to be lost, but it's hard to afford a studio. So I'll talk about things like that. I'm not sure where it's going and what I'll be doing. And it might not be a bad thing not to be a professional photographer, then I can get back to my own personal enjoyment of photography. Hey, look at my messy office. So I'm gonna get the files from today. My disastrous walk in the snow. Thankfully I didn't break a hip. And then I'm getting out of here, I'm going home. See how sad this is? I have done so little personal photography. I can't even find the catalog I use just for my personal photos. All right. And video files. Episode 1 is also a practice run. Yeah, and that's one more thing. I edit video for other clients, so they shoot their video, give it to me, and I create their YouTube episodes. So I do that, which is another reason why I feel like I need to do my own videos, since I've got so much experience editing other people's YouTube videos. Why not edit my own? But that's the thing. I feel like if you're going to be a professional YouTuber, that's all you're doing. So you're a YouTuber that talks about a subject. It's hard, I think, to be a professional in, say, photography and also be a top YouTuber. You don't have time for both. At least I couldn't do that at this point in my life. I don't think I'd want to do that. Hey, before the video ends, this is future Steven, having come from a point in time where I have edited this video over and over again, cutting and cutting and cutting. It's not the best video, but it's real life. I picked up the camera and just started shooting. I hadn't given it much thought, so you got to see who I am and how I operate to some degree. You also got to see Old Towne Petersburg in the snow, which is unusual, so I hope you enjoyed that. But I wanted to apologize for one specific thing in this video that I cannot fix in post, and that's all the up-the-nose shots. I'm really sorry about that. Very unprofessional, very amateur, but I was shooting in the moment without much forethought, and apparently that's what I do. I shoot the camera too far down, so you're looking up the nose. So sorry about that, and I will not do that in the future. But anyway, thank you, and back to the conclusion of episode 1. That's me, that's the situation. I'll try to take you on my journey, my ups and my downs, and all around. But stay tuned. This is episode 1. I'll see you in episode 2.